Okay, I'm here with Fredrik, and he's demoing a new update from Bitwig.
Thank you, Jan. Yes, as Jan said, we're here at Cruise Control Studios in Amsterdam at ADE, showcasing Bitwig Studio 2.2, which we released just a while back, and especially the software in the context of hardware integration, working with guitarists that you met earlier. And yeah, we're just kind of having this open jam workshop session where we invite people to join us to see how things work and the great features of Bitwig Studio, of course. So we can start with the Surface Pro that we have set up here. We have like a demo session going on here with some easygoing music, some nice pads in the background, some audio material from our friends at Erupt that they kindly provided for this session. And we're kind of just working with this in the clip launcher environment and jamming away with launching clips, launching scenes, and working with the software effects in Bitwig Studio. I should mention things are perfectly synced up with our other members of the band here via link technology that we implemented in 2.2. Let me just fire away some clips here and see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
This is not rehearsed, by the way. Speaking hardware integration, we actually have a drum machine from Roland here. We have a fantastic Eurorack system that we got with us here today. To start with the drum machine, we're just sending MIDI clock to this thing to use the internal sequencer in it. And because it's a great machine to play live with and to just kind of quickly come up with rhythms and interesting patterns.
And you're syncing it from Bitwig, right?
We're syncing it from Bitwig Studio. I can show you how we're doing it. And this is our hardware instrument, and we're just sending the clock out through here, which is actually incorrect at the moment. Let me fix that real quick. And we're not getting the audio back into it, but we're sending out the MIDI, and we're also sending out CC messages to control certain parameters. Let's see if I can get this. So, for instance, I can kind of control the tuning of the bass drum here. And of course I can hook it up to our fantastic modulation system, so I can have an LFO play like a melody on the bass drum. That's just as a quick example. We're also sending out CV and gate signals, pitch and CV, to the Eurorack system through our hardware CV devices. And this is sending out CV control, pitch and gates through the audio outputs of the audio interface. Exactly. This particular one is a Mo2 interface with DC coupled outputs. And it's sending them as audio signals straight into the Eurorack. So we can control, you have a wonderful assortment of different modules here that you can kind of patch straight into and control. And it's all, of course, audio rate, very nicely synchronized and very high resolution control signal.
So if I understand you well, there's no third-party software needed. Bitwig can send CV and gate messages at the same time as MIDI and MIDI CC, MIDI clock, everything.
Yes, exactly. I can show you here on the screen really quick. So going back to our hardware CV instrument, this is basically just a device to send out information. So we're sending out pitch through our mono output 3, we're sending out gate through output 4 and so on. And we have a secondary channel here, here, which is sending out control voltage. These are like CV output modules that each of them have like a knob, which is basically controlling the CV straight from the software. And these are then modulated themselves via our modulation. Like for instance here you have an LFO controlling the CV. Right? Exactly, yeah. So we're sending out a software LFO to control a hardware module.
So there's dedicated modules in there for sending out CV and gate.
Yes, that's exactly what we're seeing here. These are the small CV modules that we have. And you can also do it the other way around. You can actually send control voltage from, let's say, a hardware LFO here and send it straight into the audio interface and have it right in your software as a modulator. So I could control the filter of a software synthesizer with the LFO of, a hardware module. Of course, if you're playing guitar, you gotta have an amp, right? So we have the amp plug-in emulator device that we're, Shigeru is playing the guitar and it's running through Bitwig Studio in our amp plugin. And let's see if we can get some sounds out of this.
Different cabinets or different algorithms, or
so you have a cabinet section where you can be super minute with the details about how your cabinet looks. You can set the width and the height and the depth and all sorts of interesting.
So you can sort of design your own cabinet.
Yes, essentially yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to go really crazy, you can of course modulate that. You have different sections, a pre-equalizer, a post-equalizer. You have kind of a drive section in the middle with different types of drives. And then you have, in the cabinet section, you have color and kind of different color settings. And of course, the exact specifications of what all these things do is top secret, but you can kind of go creative and see and find your way to what works for your sound very easily.
Maybe you'd like to tell a little bit about the sample content that's included in the new patch, because I saw something pass by with...
Yeah, that's right. We have quite a lot of new sound content coming with 2.2. Among other things, our creative partner Radium from the UK made some really cool TR-606 sounds. But I think the main chunk of the new sound content is the rare organs and keys, which is a set of 3 vintage organs, very nicely sampled and put together into beautiful multi-sample presets by some really high standards.
Time shift to shift audio in time?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. So this can be used either to kind of sync up. Let's say you have a plugin that doesn't report PDC correctly, then you might need to, do it manually, and this can be done very easily and flexible like that. Or you can use it creatively in a mix to make the hi-hat stand out a little bit more by putting it just a few milliseconds later or earlier. There are many creative ways to use that. Yeah, there's some time magic going on in there that makes everything, sync up nicely if you have an issue, or as I said, if you want to use it creatively.
Thank you, Fredrik, for this nice overview of the new patch. It sure looks like a nice integrated package for people that use hardware as well. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.